movie fans, welcome to Cold and Trash Horror Movie Grinding Podcast. I am your host, Ian. This is the show in which we grind on the absolute worst horror and sci-fi movies we can find and make fun of just how bad they are, as well as praise the good cult classics that have been lost throughout time. Now get ready, because we're about to dive real deep inside of Hollywood's dumpster in search of the good, the so bad it's good, and the fucking ugly. Now put on your seatbelt, grab a beer or two, and enjoy the show. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. I'm Ian again, and today we're gonna have a fun one. Today we're gonna do From Dusk Till Dawn, that old cult classic, crazy thriller heist movie with a bunch of campy ass vampires. Hell yeah! Uh, Great movie. Directed by Robert Rodriguez, who's great. Like, if you don't know him, I mean, like, he's got movies that are great for this show. From Dusk Till Dawn, of course. I love Desperado as great. Planet Terror, which is the Grindhouse thing that we'll actually talk about next week, will be Planet Terror when I go into what I like to call Grindvember. The entire month of November will be Grindhouse movies, starting with Planet Terror. So look forward to that. He also did, Sin City, El Mariachi, um, Faculty, which is fun. But yeah, he did From Dusk Till Dawn, which is really funny. Written by his good friend Quentin Tarantino. This is kind of an underrated Tarantino flick. Not a whole lot of people know about it. Some people think that Tarantino directed it, but no, he did not. It is Rodriguez. But they teamed up together for this, and it's a great collaboration. And then great cast. We got George Clooney in his first role since that stupid TV show. Harvey Keitel, very young Juliette Lewis. Quentin Tarantino himself is in it, and then of course, like, goddamn, Selma Hayek, like the best. Like, goddamn, Selma Hayek. And then you have a bunch of like small roles, cameos from Cheech Marin. He's got 3 different cameos. Danny Trejo's in it, Tom Savini, Fred Williamson, Michael Parks. Like, it just goes on. It's a great cast. But anyway, we'll get into that in a little bit. I've got a couple returning guests here today. From Jacob and Reese versus Evil. Jacob's back. Welcome back, man.
Hey, how's it going? I'm
Pretty
glad
good.
to be back.
Pretty good.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a little while. And what's been even more of a little while is Two Dank's back. Oh shit. A couple robbers over here. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? I just wanted to just say one thing. It isn't Too Dank anymore. I'm rebranding. It is now Too Dark.
Oh, Too Dark. Oh, okay. Damn. What's with the change?
Well, see, I'm going in a different direction. I'm going into a more of a ghost hunting direction with my content from now on. And this is, to keep the demons or spirits from knowing my true face.
Oh, okay. That hence the masks. And it looks like you've got a partner in ghost hunting.
Yeah.
With you.
This is my true face, though.
Yeah, this is
okay.
this is Leafy Lynn's true face. This is Leafy Lynn. We used to do the what was it called? Deeper and Deeper, an unofficial Adult Swim podcast together. You can still listen to all of those episodes. It's real great.
Yeah, that was a fun podcast. I enjoyed it. So you're not doing that anymore.
I mean, it is on a long hiatus. We don't know. Like, life really did throw a wrench in my plans. And basically it sucks because it only affected me, really. But I'm the main writer. So
I mean, yeah, that was a big yeah. Well, sorry to hear that. Let me know when if you get that going back again. And,
For sure, dude. Yeah, you're definitely on the list to hit up. The Metalocalypse episode is something we really want to do.
Hell yeah. Well, welcome back, Leafy. Welcome to the show. And so, Jacob, you've seen this movie before, right?
Oh yeah. This
not
is
new to you.
No. This was kind of in my childhood. The same thing with Terminator, Aliens, Predator. It was just all combined in there, especially with all the other horror movies.
Gotcha. So, what was your impression on it back then, and then what's your impression now after rewatching it?
Oh, my impression back then was like one of surprise, because it was always one of those movies I knew there were vampires in it, which kind of sucks, because kind of going back, I was like rewatching this and I was like, man, I love how the first half of this movie, there's like no lead up to that are vampires. And so then I wanted to go back and just make sure like, how did they market this movie? Please tell me they marketed this movie as like a Tarantino, like shooter.
Well, he wasn't even that very well known at the time. Like, he just did Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it was like right after Pulp Fiction, but like it has a very Reservoir Dogs vibe to it at the beginning, at least. And so I went back and watched the trailer, and the trailer just gives away the vampires like immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn it. It's like Terminator 2, because Terminator 2 did the same thing. It's like, if like the original teaser for that movie just has Arnold in it, and it's like, oh, he's back. But then the second trailer obviously gives away the twist that there's like two Terminators, one to protect, one to kill John Connor. And it's like, man, that's a bummer. Like, what if you saw that movie and had no idea? Same thing with this.
The original Terminator. Like, if you show that movie to somebody who has no idea what Terminator is about, like, it'll blow their mind. And yeah, same with this. Definitely way more the same with this. Is speaking of which, Tudink and Leafy, this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is your first time watching this.
Yeah. Dude, it was so great, man. We watched it earlier today together. So yeah, I'm real fresh into it. We watched it earlier today.
Did you know anything about it?
I knew it was a vampire movie, and for Leafy, I had to like, they were like, "What is it about?" And I was like, "It's I know I said it's a Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez vampire movie," is what I said, and it's funny what you said, because like I had to keep saying during the movie, I was like, I promise this is a vampire movie. Like, this, I swear it's a vampire movie.
Yeah, it's like, this is really good, but this is not like, how is this horror? How is this vampires?
It's like, fucked up, dude. Tarantino's character really shook me to the core, dude.
Yeah, I did. Very creepy. Like,
yeah,
especially after watching Dahmer, right? It's just like, man, you're just giving me creepy as Dahmer vibes.
Yeah. So you're just like, I think there's vampires.
No.
Until they're there.
Point, I was like, what if it's the sequels that have vampires and I'm just a horrible liar?
Yeah, because when I invited you to be on this, I didn't tell you anything about it. I didn't know what you knew about it. I was like, hey, you want to join for Dusk Till Dawn? You were like, yeah, I haven't seen it. And I was like, cool, perfect. I showed this movie to my roommates, and they knew nothing about it, and they were like, "Whoa, what the hell?" Like, when the vampires come out, because that is very jarring when the vampires come out. It's like, it's not a vampire movie, and then it's very much a vampire movie.
Yeah, I think definitely you wouldn't have suspected it was a vampire movie, but like whenever they get to the titty twister, it's like the set design and stuff is just so bonkers. It's like, that's when I was kind of like, holy crap, like we walked into another movie. Yeah,
remember the strip club in Beetlejuice?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I had actually a very different introduction to this movie. I saw it on TV when I was, I think, in middle school, and I knew it was about vampires. But the interesting thing is, I just caught it on TV. I just turned on my TV and it was on. But it was on. I caught it right at when they become vampires, right after they become vampires. So I didn't know about any of the stuff in the beginning. I just saw vampires. I was like, cool, this is a fun vampire movie, and I watched till the end. And then a couple years later, I rented it, and I saw the beginning. And I was like, is this the same movie? Yeah. So it was it was opposite for me than it was for anybody else. But yeah, this is a very like polarized movie because like the first half is totally not that. Like I said, it's very jarring when the vampires do come in. So what do you guys think of the first half, and what do you think of like, or I guess the first like 2/3 and then the last, uh, third of it?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, well, do you guys know about like in Grindhouse where Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez switched videos and got to take out, or switched films and got to cut out a section of it?
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew that there were some sections that were missing, especially in Planet Terror, but I didn't know that they did that to each other's movies.
Yeah. Huh. It was Rodriguez's idea. It's like you give me your canister, I'll cut out some film, and they both, they took out the most interesting parts.
Yeah, they wanted to have that effect of like the old Grindhouse films from the 70s.
But it almost seems like they were Tarantino and Rodriguez were like, hey, Tarantino's like, I'll write the first half, and Rodriguez, you write the second half. Yeah. That's what it definitely felt like.
It feels like that, but no, Tarantino wrote the whole thing himself. I'm sure that they might have collaborated a little bit, but it was all like his script.
Yeah, but it was also Robert Kurtzman's idea to begin with too.
Yeah, true.
If nobody knows Robert Kurtzman, I mean like huge special effects artist and stuff, and so I remember he conceived this movie and then gave it to Tarantino, and Tarantino just went from there. But it's kind of cool, like if he took someone else's idea and just like, okay, I'll make this first half very gritty, dark, realistic, really fucked up, and then I'll just make a batshit vampire movie. I will write myself into the script and lick Salma Hayek's feet.
Yeah, that it's funny because everybody jokes around like, oh, he must have a foot fetish because he has feet in all of his movies. Ha ha ha! It's an ongoing joke, and then you see this, and you're like, oh wow, yeah, that's Tarantino. And then you find out that he wrote that, and it was like for himself.
Yeah, he wrote himself to be a rapist too.
Which actually also with Planet Terror, he's a rapist.
Oh my god, you're right. I forgot about that elevator scene or whatever.
What's real weird is in the commentary for that. I know this is a little side note. In the commentary for that scene, he thought how funny. He just thought it was so funny that someone's dick's melting off, and like they just want to rape so bad that they're like, fuck it. But apparently that fucking happened to Harvey Weinstein. Like his dick got caught on fire. Like his dick got burned.
What?
And he was like, oh, fuck it. I'm just still going to do it anyway.
Where'd you hear that?
Dude. Oh, dude, I heard it just the other day. Oh, dude, the Perfect Guy Life podcast with Sam Hyde and Nick Rochford.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking Weinstein. Yeah. Who by the way produced these movies.
I was about to say this was Max Dimension, right?
Yeah. Which some things kind of like make sense now that you think about that. Unfortunately. But yeah, anyway, where to go from here?
I'm so sorry.
It got real dark.
Yeah.
Was that actually foot, or was there a stunt woman's foot in that scene? Was he really sucking on her toes?
Oh, stunt woman. I think that was her. Because I mean, there were shots of just the foot, but there were also wide shots of.
Yeah, but in the mouth, it was just the foot, right? That was a stunt foot in the mouth.
That's a good question.
It's a possibility. But then again, they did make her, because I looked up, Salma Hayek has a phobia of snakes, and they made her Robert Rodriguez tricked her into thinking Madonna was going to take the role if she didn't take it. So Salma went and took 3 months worth of therapy to get over her fear of snakes to wear that snake in that scene, which is absolutely fucked up.
Holy shit.
God, that's how you know the hardest job in the world is being a famous actress.
Yeah. No kidding. I heard that they cast her as like a favor because in the movie Four Rooms, which is also co-directed by Tarantino and Rodriguez and 2 other directors, it's 4 short stories. Each story is directed by a different person, and Tarantino and Rodriguez are 2 of them. In the Rodriguez one, they have Salma Hayek on like a TV, and she's dancing, like just in a bikini and stuff. It doesn't show her face, so they asked her, "Hey, can we get you to like dance? We won't show your face." And she said yes. And then because she did that as a favor, they cast her in this role.
Oh, I figured it was because of Desperado. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, they had a relationship from then because, Desperado came first and then 4 Rooms.
Interesting.
And then Dusk Till Dawn. So that's an interesting thing. So the 2 of them, they met during actually we're being joined by another guy. Homie Tony is here. Man, been a long time since you've been on here.
Yeah, and it took me a long time to get here. I apologize. I've been actually flying here as a bat, and it took me a really long time.
Yeah, I'm telling you, car is faster. I told you that 10 times.
Yeah, but like, you know, if you could travel as a bat and turn into a bat, what's the point of, why?
Do you know what happened to the guy who traveled as a bat in the second Dusk Till Dawn movie?
I saw the movie once when I was like 12 years old. No, I don't remember.
He got hit by a truck.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, my cat's trying to get in here.
Oh, no worries. Hey, I'm digging your poster behind you.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I do have a From Dusk Till Dawn movie poster right here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. We were just talking. Well, pretty much we didn't know what to talk about, so I'm glad you joined. What was your introduction to this movie?
God, honestly, I saw this movie when I was way too young to have seen this movie. I saw this when I was like, because it came out in like 95, right?
Yeah,
or 96 or something like that.
Yeah,
I saw it like around that time. Like I remember seeing it like when I was a child, like 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually back when in Austin, there's this place called the Adobe Mall. It's not there anymore. Well, it was kind of there, but anyway, it's a really rinky-dink, shitty mall where half the stores were closed. There was this theater in there called the Egyptian Room or whatever. I can't remember. The Adobe Theater Mall. Anyway, they played the making of this movie, the Full Tilt Boogie, and Robert Rodriguez was there talking about it.
Oh,
and
cool.
I remember as like an 8-year-old being like, it actually kind of like really got me into like making movies because like seeing like how this movie was made and like I don't know, it's a fucking insane movie that actually like that it kind of has no right to have being in so many theaters. Like I don't know, like it's kind of insane that it got made. So like I always loved this fucking movie as a kid. I thought it was like it's kind of perfect for like a cool 10-year-old. You know what I mean? Like if you're really cool and you know what's up, if you're not going to be weird about it, like it's really good for like a kid.
I guess.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, I think if it's like a perfect movie for it's fucking silly. It's super silly.
It is, especially in the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We were just talking about how jarring it is from the first like 2/3 to the end. All of a sudden, when the vampires come out, it's like a completely different movie.
Yeah, I actually really like showing people that movie and not telling them anything about it.
You can't.
Yeah, like that's like the best is like telling him, yeah, it's like Robert Rodriguez directed it, and it was Quentin Tarantino wrote it, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of like these two guys got to deal with these hostages. It's cool.
Well, meet Spy Kids.
In fact, a couple of actors from Spy Kids are in it themselves.
Machete's in it. If you're a big Machete guy.
Yeah, I like how El Rey was mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was real cool. I like
El Rey is Robert Rodriguez's network.
Yeah, and also the main character in Planet Terror.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that.
Cool. And then the channel he made was El Rey or whatever, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I think I've heard him say that it's like some kind of like mythical, like bandit paradise in Mexico. That it's like some,
I can see that.
Yeah, some.
He's a very esoteric person. Like he's like much like Tarantino is. Like he likes to probably more so. Well, probably about the time because like Quentin Tarantino likes to put everything in his movies, like the Big Kahuna Burger, the Red Apple cigarettes, and Rodriguez likes to do El Rey everywhere.
Yeah, like you said, Big Kahuna makes a little appearance in this one. Yeah,
it does actually.
Chingo beer. What's the name of the beer? Chingo Cerveza.
Oh yeah.
Is that the same beer in Desperado?
I mean, I know it's in. I know he made it a real beer eventually.
Oh, did he?
That's awesome.
It's like Chingu or Chingo. I forget what it is, but there's a Chingo sign, Chingo Cerveza sign in the background. I thought that was pretty cool.
I like that. I've never noticed that. That's rad.
Yeah.
I like that
for sure. And so anyway, now that we're all here, would anybody like to say what the plot is in one sentence?
One sentence. It's hard to do in one sentence.
Bank robbers versus vampires.
Psychopaths kidnap a family and then vampires.
There you go.
And Tom Savini has a dick gun.
Oh yeah, the dick. That's another Robert Rodriguez thing. He likes to bring that dick gun everywhere.
Dick gun shows
because Dick gun makes his first appearance in Desperado. Just sitting there, nobody uses.
She's like, "What's this?" And he's like,
"It's just sitting with all of his other guns." So
he's like, "Don't worry about that."
Which is weird. Like he just came across this prop and he's like, "Oh, I'm using that."
I mean,
and then it makes a second appearance in here. Sex Machine has it. Played by the great Tom Savini, who did all the makeup in this movie. Plus,
no way!
You didn't know that?
Sex Machine did all the makeup.
Yeah. He also he's done horror makeup and everything. Friday the 13th, all the Friday the 13th movies. He did Dawn of the Dead, and he was in Dawn of the Dead. He was basically a Sex Machine again.
Yeah. You never know his name in Dawn of the Dead, so it could have just been Sex Machine.
Yeah. And he directed the 90s remake of Night of the Living Dead, too, if I remember correctly.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's weird. It's good. Yeah.
But, anyway, the sex gun, it makes another appearance in Machete Kills, too. Was there also...
That has boob guns as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So does Austin Powers.
Yes. Oh, true.
And it's also, I believe... I don't recall seeing this, but I heard that it's in the Dusk Till Dawn TV show too.
Oh shit, really? I never watched more than 2 episodes of that show.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was in it, so I gave it the cursory.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna watch your episodes, and
I watched the first season, and I was like, it's good enough. But...
I didn't even get to the titty twister. I couldn't do it. I don't know. I tried. I really loved. When they said they're gonna make a from Dusk Till Dawn series, I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And then I watched it, and I was like,
I guess we might as well go into that. Jacob, you said you watched it, right?
Oh yeah, back when it came out. What was that? 2012, 2013.
Yeah, same here. So
and kind of the same thing. The lead up to it is unlike the beginning of this movie where it's like, oh man, these characters are really drawing me in. This is it
just starts
gritty and then. In the series, it felt very, soap opera, CW kind of, and then it's not it's not really good until it gets to the titty twister, and that's like I don't know how many episodes.
And I appreciate how they did the vampires though, because the vampires aren't bat vampires; they're snake vampires.
Yeah, and I like that because that goes with Santanico Pandemonium. Looks like kind of like a snake. And
when she turns. Yeah.
But even then, I do like the makeup for the vampires in this movie because they have bat faces, which you don't really normally see anymore.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of animals. That's I really like that. You know, there's like the bat people, and then there's Santanico's more of a snake lady, and then you got fucking Sex Machine turns into.
Hey, was her name translated into English? Is that Satanic Panic?
I mean, that would be right, wouldn't it? Santanico Pandemonium.
Yeah, I guess so.
It would, didn't it? Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
nice, good,
I mean,
good
I know
call.
he named it after. There's a movie I think back in the day called Santanico Pandemonium, and I think
really?
That sounds rad. I'm naming the lady after that.
That makes sounds about right. That sounds like something they would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, which is okay. That's another topic to bring up. I like how all the vampires they both follow all the vampire rules of any vampire movie, but at the same time they don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh shit, Too Dark has a face.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they're like zombies, kind of. It's like they'll just bite you.
And they're like, they bite you, and then you become a
you have like a certain
zombie.
amount of time as you're like a normal guy,
but different times though too.
Yeah, because, they immediately
I think it's the will. It's because he was holy that Jacob took forever, and everyone else has like 10 minutes.
Sex Machine took his time.
Fred Williamson was like immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what was he from? Who is that? Is that Action Jackson?
Yeah. Wait. Is it? Hold on, I have to look this up because he was in stuff like that. Well, he was in one of my favorite blaxploitation movies ever, and I can't say the name.
Just Boss. You can say Boss.
Let's just call it Boss. Yeah. It is.
Yeah. I did want to bring that up. Yeah, so
great fucking movie. He was also a football player, if I remember correctly.
No, you're thinking of the other guy,
O.J. Simpson.
No,
Jim
not
Brown.
O.J. Simpson. Jim Brown.
Yeah.
Although all three of them have been in movies in the 70s,
right?
But Fred Williamson, he did a lot of blaxploitation films, which is like pretty much Rodriguez and Tarantino. They love the old grindhouse 70s, drive-in midnight movies, exploitation stuff. Yeah. And this is like their first like tribute to that. But then of course they really went into that with the Grindhouse double feature, which again, that's what I'll be covering next week. And all month, actually the next 2 months, I'll be doing Grindhouse movies. But
I love
so Fred Williamson did a lot of blaxploitation films that they were fans of, especially the one that Tony mentioned, Boss. It's 2 words. Boss is the first word, and the second word is
a racial slur.
Wait, which one?
Say. But it is one of the best theme songs of any blaxploitation or any movie, really. It is.
It is pretty great. Yeah,
it's fantastic, and it's a really good movie. Like it is a good movie, to be honest.
Is it like the A, or does it have the hard R?
It's a hard R.
Oh,
yeah, but it's a blaxploitation movie, and it's honestly like
you can't say it's a hard R, but
it's all black people.
You can't say but, because this is a movie. It's about it is very racial, but it's about this guy. It takes place in the 1800s, right after slavery was abolished. So it's a recently freed slave who comes into town as a Western. It's
like Blazing Saddles, but instead of they called for a sheriff, he just showed up and was like,
he just shows up into this very racist town where everybody is so racist, and so they call him the N-word and everything, but
and he just fucks him up.
But he rises above it. He actually takes the N-word and he uses it as his identity. Like, okay, you want to call me that? That's who I am. well, you know what, you're about to just get totally destroyed by this guy that you're talking down to, and you know, you say that you're beneath me, but I'm just gonna completely take over your entire town.
Actually, a pretty sweet movie.
Yeah, it's badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of other great.
So that's probably his. I don't want to say most famous role because not a lot of people know about that movie. But
he's
it's
in
like, if you know it, it's his biggest film.
I should have done my research because he's in a lot of really great blaxploitation stuff and just stuff that's not even like that. But like he's a really like charismatic actor. Like he's like I think in an interview, I think it might be in Full Tilt Boogie, the making of this movie, which is awesome. If you guys haven't seen it, it's so fucking awesome. He's like does half of the interviews with his like vampire makeup on. It's hilarious.
Oh really?
Yeah,
he had like, some pretty gnarly makeup.
He has really scary makeup, to be honest. I think it's honestly still really creepy.
He was more bat-like than
he's creepy as shit. Like to this day, he's like really disturbing face. But yeah, he says in the interview, he's like, yeah, I had a deal back in the day. He's like, I wouldn't do a movie unless I like, you know, didn't like win it, like didn't beat the bad guy, get the girl, and like kick a bunch of ass in the movie. Like that was his like 3 rules for taking the movie. I'm like, this guy's awesome.
Except for this movie, he didn't get any of that.
He doesn't do any of that. Yeah, he breaks the rules.
But he does have a really cool monologue though.
He kicks some ass. He does my favorite, probably my favorite vampire kill in it. Which I think maybe we should all go ahead and ask who our favorite vampire kill is, because he tips over the table and he does the 4 legs as the
oh yeah,
that's really good.
The vampire stakes. That shit is so genius. Like that's so rad.
I like when he gets the whip around Sex Machine and then pulls his head off, and then he turns into the giant rat.
It's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah. I like the mariachi band just blowing themselves up. That was pretty badass.
Yeah.
Speaking of
fucking good night.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
fuck you. Yeah. There's just all this mayhem and they're just still playing, just rocking.
Yeah, they're using bodies as their guitars and stuff.
So you don't, Tony. You don't have to go into full detail, but you know that guy.
I do. I won't go into full. I won't say names or anything, but I dated the lead singer of that guy's of that band's daughter. He lives in Austin, and and she's a lovely lady, and so I got to know Tito, the guy in that band, Tito and the Tarantulas, and they're fucking awesome. But no, that guy's the nicest dude in the fucking world. He's like, it's so funny because he's also in Desperado. He's the guy.
I loved him.
He's the guy at the bar who's like always.
He's always on the phone.
He's a dude who shoots Quentin Tarantino in the face.
Yeah.
In Desperado, and he's the guy running down the street with the guns. Anyway, yeah, that dude's like the nicest guy, and it's so funny. He always plays these really intimidating, like, you know, like hardcore motherfuckers, but he's like he's got a really sweet voice. He's like very sweet. He's the ticest guy.
Yeah,
it's so funny. So every time I watch that movie, I definitely am like, it's Tito, it's my boy.
Yeah,
the guy's so nice.
And
I think she was on. His daughter was like on the set of that movie, like as a little baby.
Oh, was it?
I think so. Okay. I'm pretty sure she showed me a picture of her like on the titty twister
really
sets.
young.
She's like a year younger than me, so she's like, I'm 31, so she would have been like 4 or 5. They also like a baby, you know. But yeah, she has a cool life.
And the funny thing is, all the scenes that he's in were like all the hard R.
Yeah, all the titties and all the boobies walking around, and he's literally playing a guitar made of dead dudes.
That was so creative, yet just so ridiculous. That's
what
guitar.
I'm saying. This movie's jarring because, like, the first half, like you said, the first half of the movie is just like this pretty solidly serious, not maybe like overly serious, but you know, pretty serious like crime movie.
What I was wondering, does the guitar change into a human, or is he like, it's a vampire battle? Let me grab my human guitar.
I guess you don't see the change. I like that. I always thought it was the guitar changed, but I like your idea. Like, he just puts the guitar down and put it.
He's got it in the back.
Because a lot of bands a lot of guitarists that they switch guitars between songs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's like, okay, it's our encore. It's feeding time. It's encore time.
Get my fleshy V.
Do you also think that was like a conversation? I mean, because not to spoil the movie, I'm sure if everyone watching this video is probably seen the movie, I'm assuming. I hope so. At the very end of the movie, you find out they've been around for like hundreds of years doing this. Do you think that like they were like a mariachi band at first?
Yeah, right.
Like, do you think that they were like a really classically, and then as the time grew on, they were like, we need to like up our fucking shit.
Yeah,
they
they were just like, we need to hire a band. Like, I mean, this strip club has everything except for a live band.
Maybe the band.
They're just
Let's
touring.
just go turn some mariachis.
Tito and the Tarantulas are just touring in Mexico, and they're like, okay, we got a gig. It's in the middle of nowhere. Nothing could go wrong there.
Yep.
And then and they
get turned, and then they're like, "Fuck it, we'll just stay here." You guys need some music.
Green room.
You can't. You guys just can't play Selena all the time. You know, like we come on, like we'll play some jams or
Jacob,
Stevie Ray Vaughan. I guess they're playing Stevie Ray Vaughan all the time. That's what they play in that bar, pretty much.
Right.
Other than
Jacob, I know you told me before we started you saw the next movie, the prequel that they made after this one, Tony or Too Dark. Did you see that?
Is that 3?
Both of them are actually prequels.
Oh, really? I never saw 3. I saw 2, I said, like once when I was a kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You said that earlier. You were.
Wait a minute.
It was a long time ago. You don't remember.
Wait a minute. Wait, wasn't Robert Patrick in?
Yeah, Robert
2?
Patrick was the main guy.
In the series too?
Yeah, he plays Harvey Keitel's character.
Fucking wild, man.
And they like to reuse people. In the third movie, the main character is played by Michael Parks, who's the sheriff.
Is he playing the sheriff?
No. It takes place like 300 years ago.
Kind of like how Cheech is like 4 different characters in this movie.
Oh my god. I remember seeing trailers for 3 because it's like almost looks like Indiana Jones or some shit, right? And there's like a temple and there's like a snake lady.
Kinda. It's about Pancho Villa.
What?
Yeah. And Michael Parks is like this American bandit who goes down to Mexico to like help join his army. But I didn't watch it because the only version that I had available was only in Spanish with no subtitles.
Dude, that might be better.
So I couldn't watch it.
Honestly.
But anyway, the point that I was making is so like we were just kind of discussing that like when you get turned by the vampires, it's like I guess we didn't really go into it that much, but like you don't really understand where they become. Are they like zombie-like? Are they loyal? Like they kind of like join in. The second movie, as bad as it is, actually kind of like helps you understand because once the guys get bit and turn into vampires, they have like their own agenda, and so there's like 5 guys in a motel. They're bank robbers, and 2 of them get turned. And they're like, but they don't tell anybody. They're like incognito, and they're still going through the bank robbery, but nobody knows that they're vampires.
Are they full-on vampires, or are they changed?
Yeah, they're full-on vampires, but they're in disguise as like regular people. Okay. Yeah, it's actually kind of cool.
Okay. Well, that makes the show make more sense because I know the show is like that, right? Because like Richie turns into a vampire, but like a guy that.
What happens is they get bit, they get turned, they become vampires, then they put on their cognito and their disguise, and they're like regular people, but they're like still immediately like they're not zombies. They're like they're smart and they have their identity, but they're still very loyal to all the vampires. You know, like it's like as soon as they get bit, they join the vampire agenda, and like they're like, okay, I want you guys, but I'm just gonna like still rob this bank anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of get that from this movie too, because all the other bats just like swoop in.
Yeah, I mean they turn, but they don't really have like any sort of identity or any like reason to do what they're doing. They're more kind of mindless in this movie.
Yeah. Some of them.
Well, you still have like the ones that like appear out of nowhere, you know, like
Yeah.
they're just coming to the titty twister in that giant mass horde. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe they were just fucking living their lives, and then Santanica Pandemonium dies, their queen technically dies, and they're like, shit.
Yeah.
You know what?
I feel like it's where they go to sleep for the day, and there's a bunch of people fucking up their shit.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, could be. And they're like, oh man. Maybe they smell all the other vampires' blood and they're like, oh, what's going on? What the fuck?
Yeah.
They
One
got
thing I
someone
do
up-
appreciate about this movie, it just like cuts right to the chase. It's just like they immediately know that they're vampires. It's just like Seth
Yeah.
is just like, these are fucking vampires. Like I feel like every other show and movie now, like I enjoyed Midnight Mass, but the fact that not a single person says vampire in that, sorry, spoilers, but like they never say the V word throughout that entire show, annoyed the hell out of me.
Like, what are these
Same-
things that suck blood and are thralls? And...
It's like Walking Dead. It's like, okay, Walking Dead establishes that there's like, oh yeah, zombie movies never existed. Okay, cool. You can hand wave that, but like they never established that in Midnight Mass. So it's just like it's annoying.
Well, yeah, it's also just like I love the conversation, that they have about it, where it's just that's kind of like as real as silly as the movie is. That's a very realistic conversation that would probably occur, where it's just kind of like everyone's like, okay, well, I don't know what the fuck you want to call it. Those are probably vampires, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
You saw it. I don't want to believe in it. You don't believe in it. Let's just fucking move along with our lives. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
also
what George Clooney says.
Yeah.
I love that. That's probably my favorite line. And I mean, there's some pretty good dialogue in this movie, but that's a really good one.
That patented Tarantino fucking sharp-ass dialogue.
His like, yeah, there's vampires. Don't anybody tell me you don't believe in vampires.
Yeah,
I don't believe in vampires,
but
I believe what my eyes see, and what I saw was fucking vampires.
And he does what I think there's every movie. I think he does. It's one of the only movies that does this, where like any movie where they like are like, okay, there's ghosts, and instead of like it's the one thing my mind always goes to is like, okay, there's vampires, and like Seth, Seth is like, okay, well, if that means they're from hell, that means there's a heaven. You're fucking, that means like God's real. So we gotta start playing by different rules now. Like, God, priest guy, you're the fucking man now. Like, you're in charge. Like,
what does he say? It's like
he's like, I didn't fucking believe in heaven or hell, but that changed like 30 minutes ago. Like,
it's like tell me you're a real motherfucking man of God or something. And he's like, I'm a real
motherfucking man of God. Yeah.
Harvey Keitel was great in this.
He's
in a very non-Harvey Keitel role too.
He
never plays a role like that. Like, I mean, he was like just a fucking terrible piece of shit pimp and Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
And then Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, he was like a cool, smooth motherfucker. And just like
Bad Lieutenant.
Yeah,
crazy naked man.
Bad Lieutenant. Yeah, it was complete opposite of this movie.
He's just got range, that guy.
Yeah, he's good.
Motherfucker needs to act more.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, like that. Yeah, in the whole scene where, I don't know, like there's just so many moments in this movie. It's just like when he fucking rips the dude's heart out and stabs it with a pencil. Like,
so good.
Like there's just so many great like oh yeah, you could just do that, huh? Like like,
so creative. Like
what about
creative.
when he knocks Sex Machine's head off and he turns into a giant rat?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
And he turns into a rat, and it's like a little mini boss fight. Like, it's like Sex Machine's like a little mini. He's a boss. He's like a little. I've said this forever. I would kill for like a From Dusk Till Dawn like video game. Like, well, they technically made one, but it was terrible back in the.
Did they?
They did back in. There's like a PC game in like '98. They made like it's when you break Richie out of jail, or when Richie breaks stuff out of jail. It's like about that. It's weird.
Oh.
It's
it has nothing to do with it.
It does. It is like, and then vampires show up somehow. It's really weird. It's fucking weird. It's all set in a jail. It's really weird.
I like how all the vampires were different animals. Like, like the original Dracula was he turned into bats, but he also turned into rats. Never turned into a snake, but
he turned into mist.
Yeah, he turned into mist. He's a shapeshifter, and so like in this movie, each of the vampires is like, or each of the notable vampires at least, were like different animals. Like, yeah, Satanica, she was like a snake, so she had that snake form. Sex Machine,
snake.
like even before Sex Machines, head came off and became the rat. He was still a rat. Like, he had the rat fingers, he had the teeth and everything, and then Fred Williams' character was looked more like a bat than anybody. Then all the bats came and like circled around him and like kind of like joined with him. Yeah. Leafy, anything you'd like to add in?
I like right after that conversation about, I'm pretty sure these fuckers are vampires. They had like okay, what are the rules of these vampires conversation, and then all of the just like following like inexplicable like random vampire deaths and like what are the rules?
They're arguing about silver.
And then Juliette Lewis makes the best argument. It's like, does anybody have any silver?
Then who
cares?
All
right, so who the fuck cares?
And then like that when she's got to shoot her brother, and I don't know if she shot him or one of the vampires, and they just all exploded.
I thought about that too.
I, as a kid, just always kind of assumed that the rules were like, it's like the Jaws rule. Like, it's like they shot what he was shooting. They were eating something, and maybe there's like a vampire rule because you don't see vampires eating dead people, right? So like maybe there's a rule that they can't eat dead people, and the second you shoot someone and they die, and the curse blows them up.
He also had the condom holy water balloons attached to him.
Sure.
Yeah. So I thought maybe she shot that, and that was supposed to be like hitting all of them. Then they all just like spontaneously.
Something blows up. That blows up.
Their weapons were super creative.
So rad.
But I guess that's what makes it so fun, is that it's super creative. The makeup was great. The acting was all really good. But there's so much fuck it involved.
Yeah. I think it also
much.
has the prototype Samuel L. Jackson Deep Blue Sea, because I love Fred Williamson's, because I mean it's just straight out Jaws. It's Quint's speech from Jaws, and then they tried to like subvert it with like, oh, he's gonna give this like whole speech about how badass he is, and then like Sex Machine comes up and kills him, but it's not like it's gonna happen. Unlike Deep Blue Sea, where it's just like fucking shark just hops out and eats Samuel L. Jackson, and it's just like, holy crap.
It's a great moment. Pretty much, he's just talking about how badass he was in this
especially when he's doing the stabbing motions. I killed this one. I killed that one.
And everybody's just sitting around just watching. They're like, okay, like I think we're in good company. Like we're gonna win this actually.
And I love Tom Savini's expressions too when he finds his fangs, and he's just like, very Home Alone-ish.
And then she looks at him, and he's like,
pretty cool, good story.
Yeah.
I love one of my favorite lines in the whole movie is during that conversation about what kills vampires, and they're like, has anyone read like a book on vampires, like a real book? And he's like, what, like a Time Life book? They're all like, okay, no. It was like Sex Machine. I wear leather. I mean, I didn't wear a leather jacket for like the one time I don't wear a leather jacket. I wear leather jackets like every day, and one of the reasons is Sex Machine. Sex Machine and the Terminator. Very 90s garb.
Yeah, I can barely other than Richie, because you guys just said it. I don't think I know any other character's name except for Sex Machine.
I do, because I've seen this movie so many times.
I think Fred Williamson is just Fred Williamson.
I don't know what his character's name is. What is his
so there's Richie and Seth.
Frost. He has a cool name, but I don't remember them ever saying it. It's Frost.
Frost?
That's such a dumb name.
I don't think they ever say his name.
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
I like how before the vampires come out and we like see them, like they're walking to the club, and then you see like everybody, all the bikers and truckers who are sitting there, and like they're like playing dominoes while the girl is like dancing on their table, and like
And he's trying to keep it steady, but
they almost get in a fight and stuff. Yeah. Fred. I think it's Fred Williamson. He's just like, what's he doing? He's like,
he's trying to keep it. He's just trying to stack dominoes, and the lady on the tables keeps knocking him over. And he's just like, God damn it! He doesn't care about the ladies at all.
He goes through so much that he is so just like, this is just, which is weird because like it's the first time he's ever been. I guess his dad is. I don't know. It makes no sense that it's his first time in the famous titty twister.
No, I think he's not there. You know, he's not there for the ladies. He's there. He's probably on the road. He's like, I'm just gonna stop and get a drink.
Oh
I'm gonna play some dominoes. Oh, they got ladies on the table here.
He's got a wife at home. Yeah.
It's also out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like,
so it's the only place.
Yeah.
What do you think the wages are at the titty twister? You think they're like good wages? You think they pay pretty well for titty twister?
I mean, they steal everything from the people they kill.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like, do you think they're familiars? Like, they're all vampires, right? We didn't see any. Yeah, I guess they're all
familiars.
Vampires.
I mean, Clooney was about to be a slave.
He was.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
but he was about to like be like a vampire slave, not exactly like.
Real talk.
You could be the lowest of the low.
Salma Hayek asked you to be her slave forever. Like, it takes a lot of willpower for him to say.
Like, the more realistic thing was he'd be like, okay, that sounds like a good deal.
I'd be like, word.
Just reminded me, she also goes on to dance in Dogma as well.
Yes, true. She's like, at my command, you lick the dog shit from my boot heel. And I'm like, yes, mommy. Yes, mommy. Yes. Just don't, but you'd be a vampire. You'd be a snake vampire though forever. That sucks. Trade-offs. But and I hate to be this guy to point holes in this movie. Why would they have wooden anything in this bar?
Well, it's not that they don't like wood. It's that they don't like wood directly to the heart or in the shape of a cross.
Okay, yeah, that's true because you can just do that.
And how do
like, oh shit, not again.
And at one point in the movie, the crossbow she gets out of she whips out in the back, Juliette Lewis. She gets it out of a giant coffin-shaped fucking holder that has a giant cross on it.
It's contraband. They confiscated it.
Yeah, but how'd they get it in?
Right?
They killed some vampire hunters. You never know.
It's not drawing.
How did vampires physically carry something with a giant cross on the top of it without being
It has to like be able to
cover it with a sheet.
Yeah, they cover it with a sheet. That's fair. I think they could do that. Right. She did have to take it. I think she did take a sheet off of it.
Yeah,
they thought of that.
I mean, also familiars. You can also just say familiars when you grabbed it during the day.
One of Salma Hayek's familiars.
Yeah, or they did the Deacon Frost thing from Blade, where he's got sunscreen.
Yeah, they just were like, they just didn't look at it. They're like,
and then what do you all think about Cheech? His roles,
all of his characters. Yeah,
I honestly think the movie. I just like my one complaint about this movie is that there's not enough Cheech. Like, I think if he had played like one or two more characters, I think I would have liked it a little.
I was about to say I don't think there was enough Selma Hayek or even Danny Trejo.
No,
definitely not enough Selma Hayek. They should just make an entire Dusk Till Dawn movie with the three of those.
Yeah, well, because it was like they really hyped her up to be the queen or whatever.
And then she just dies, which I appreciate that actually.
I like that.
Because this movie is so unpredictable. It just keeps you on your toes.
True.
Yeah,
as soon as I saw Salma Hayek was in it, I was like thinking immediately, it's like, oh, that's like a main character in this movie.
Yeah, she's got to be
right.
The situation that they're in changes every 10 minutes. This movie is
it really does. Yeah, because it is all the way from the very beginning. Because you're at the gas station, there's a conversation between Michael Parks and the cashier, and it's just so very just whatever. Michael Parks is mumbling, and you just I don't even care about this. I don't even care to listen to what he's saying, and then all of a sudden it's a hostage situation. You're like, whoa, what the fuck? What's going on? And then there's a shootout, a guy on fire. guy on fire shooting guns and explosions, and you're like, what's going on? And then, it's like, it's just it keeps going like mundane shit, and then something crazy, and then it goes back down to normal and something crazy, and then and all the crazy things are so unexpected.
Yeah.
Would the vampires have tried to fuck with them if they didn't start shit?
I think they were going to eat them no matter what.
I think that it was like going to reach a certain time of night, and they were like,
I think so, but
that probably
it was very
accelerated
coincidental.
things. I think that definitely accelerated it. I think like,
they try to get them kicked out though.
Yeah,
that's true. They could have survived the whole night if they just left.
They just left. Yeah, and it's just like, hey, you can't be here. You're not a trucker.
They're like, shit, we don't have a.
But here's
not truckers
my
and bikers.
driver's license.
Actually,
that
that's
was
kind
the
of
best part of the whole movie, where he was explaining how he had like the class
trucker
2
license?
trucker's license.
Yeah.
And the music was going.
And you know, now that I think about it, they got stopped so many times.
They had a lot of fucking chances.
Like they got stopped at the border every time Cheech shows up.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
He's like the guy from Friday the 13th. He's the harbinger. You're doomed. He's the harbinger. He's the guy who's trying to.
But like opposite of that.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I must get a charger.
And he's creeping on Juliette Lewis while she's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Everybody just wants to have sex with Juliette Lewis in this movie. I don't know why, but
because Quentin Tarantino wrote it into the script.
She's got a circus toe.
And I got to be the one to do it.
Actually, you know what? It probably wasn't like that until Harvey Weinstein read the script. He was like, you know what? You should make this little change.
Just a little bit. Can you just make it a little bit?
Yeah.
A little sexier.
It's also crazy to think this was after Natural Born Killers. And it's like, man.
Yeah.
She was just like a powerhouse in that movie.
Was it after Natural Born Killers?
I think. Yeah.
How does she look younger?
Well, my shot around the same time.
Well, Natural Born Killers, she was pretty young in that too. I mean, there's she was living with her parents. She was like a teenager, and then she was just like
took her.
Yeah, and all of that happened in like a very short amount of time.
Yeah, and she killed it. And
I still did. Yeah, that is. It does seem strange that she was younger though.
She might not have been. I don't know. They just might have made her look younger.
Yeah, that's probably it. Like, yeah,
a couple years. It's not.
She was probably like early 20s, maybe 19.
Yeah,
it's a difference of like 2 years.
And also her acting too in this one is just like very subdued and like childish. So it's just like, how
it
come
feels like
you
two
don't
different
believe me anymore, Dad?
She really does feel like two different actors. Yeah, in that movie, like straight up, because she's so fucking crazy and that. I mean, she's a really great actress. I mean,
she's great.
I don't love 100% of the stuff she's in, but she's always given it like 110%. Yeah, she's one of those. She's like a never bad actor. Like, there's actors who are like there are actors who are in really good movies and are really bad actors. Like Thandie Newton is one of my examples for that. Like, I fucking hate Thandie Newton. I think she's a terrible actress, but she's always in really good movies. They cast her in a lot of good stuff. Like Westworld. She's in Westworld, and she's actually pretty good in it. But like,
I was going to say,
Nicolas Cage, a lot of shitty movies, never bad. Always good. Always great.
Sometimes he's bad, but he's like
he's
bad.
Giving it 110%. He's not fucking around. He's not phoning in any performance.
Good point.
He's always giving it 110%. Juliette Lewis the same way. She's like always she nails whatever she's trying.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I mean, I haven't seen all of them at work, but who I've seen. Honestly, a lot of these people are kind of like that. Harvey Keitel's the same way.
I don't know. I guess. I mean, Harvey Keitel is just great.
He's incredible.
Clooney's the one who went on to do Batman and Robin, so he's got the biggest
and he came from
black smear on his filmography.
Let's not forget that. No, I mean, yeah. Let's talk about George Clooney, because I think that this was a brilliant decision for him.
Yes,
because he was a heartthrob before that. He was an ER, and he could have like gone that direction. and probably been forgotten about in like 10 years.
This is just when he was just starting to get big.
Right.
This is just what ER.
I mean, it's his first role since ER, isn't it?
Other than Killer or the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes,
Oh shit!
whatever.
I forgot about that.
He was also in South Park as his ER character.
Yeah.
In the South Park movie.
Before that, he was like a chicken or something. He was like a cat in South Park.
The gay dog. Sparky, Kyle's or Dan's or somebody's gay dog. He just did roar, roar, roar noises. Yeah.
Then he gets big, and then like literally the next year is like him almost ruining his career.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that guy's George Clooney's got a weird career, and now he just does stupid ass romantic comedy movies.
But still, I stand by. It was a really good move acting in this movie to show like he's not like that guy. Like he could like have fun and be in crazy roles and that are insane. And I thought he did pretty good in this movie too. Like I really enjoyed his acting on this character.
He's great. Yeah. Except I hate that tribal tattoo. That's the worst part about this entire movie.
So 90s.
And then at the end, he took his jacket off, and you see
all down and shit. You're like, oh my god! This is our protagonist.
Gross.
The real monster's right here. Oh.
He is the entire movie. He's been like he kills. Well, he wasn't as bad as Richie.
No, they're still both pieces of shit.
But
they're both pieces of shit.
And he's just like threatening, making death threats the entire way, and
Ian,
fights and shit.
He may be a bastard, but he's not a fucking bastard.
Yeah, exactly. That is the best way to put it.
I hated
the capper on the movie.
You didn't like that? You didn't like that line?
No.
It makes no sense, really. But
that's why.
He's saying.
It doesn't say it's like.
He just leaves her in the middle of Mexico with the vampires.
Dead family,
Yeah,
like, what did she
that
do?
guy's so cool. I forgot I lost every member of my family in that fight.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Here's some money.
But
weren't they like? I mean, they were cool kind of characters, like that chick, but they're like the least interesting characters, and they took the longest to like. I think.
Wait, who are you talking about specifically?
I'm talking about Clooney and what's her name? Juliette
Lewis. I don't know. I think the Asian kid is probably.
Yeah.
He's just boring. He's just
dude. He's my first. He's
your favorite.
Because like his acting was, I was like, this guy's not an actor. I was like,
well, I love that.
He's the only person who did not like go on to do other things.
I'm not trying to be a dick, but I don't know. I wonder what made them cast him, because I'm not trying to be like that, but like I just like they're like introducing Ernest Liu, like they're like this, he's gonna break out after this. Like I'm like,
I think he's purposely not an actor. Like I think it's.
I like that. Yeah. It's real.
Yeah, because
like
everybody else in this movie either went on to have good careers, or they already did have careers. And so there were a bunch of cameos, and he's the only one. He really sticks out like a sore thumb.
He really does, and it's not like he's not terrible. Like I said, I like that. I like that he brings this kind of like every line he reads feels like a real guy, just like a real kid in that situation. Like he's just like,
Dad, we're at the border.
Dad, they're gonna kill us, Dad.
Like we need to tell.
He's such a bitch though. Like.
Oh yeah,
like, his dad gets bit, and he's like, "I need you to kill me. Like this is serious, or else I'll kill myself." And it was like, "Oh, I don't know.
I can't say it, tool."
and then he does get bit and turned, and it's like, "You had one job.
You had one job."
I like how the dad sounded like a fucking toxic boyfriend. You know what I mean? He was like,
if you don't fucking do it, I'll kill myself right now.
Yeah.
Leafy, how about you? Is there anything else you'd like to bring up?
What did you ask me?
Nah, Leafy.
Oh, sorry.
Nothing.
No.
We have covered a lot.
It's a lot to cover. The movie's got a lot of beats, man.
It really
also,
does.
a classic.
It's only
for me.
Oh, like when they get there and they're getting out of the RV and they're like, don't act crazy. It's gonna be chill. We're just gonna go in here and drink and wait for my buddy. And then they like just punch that guy and beat him up.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
Seth
right.
himself
Like,
who
right off
was,
the bat, you did not do that.
yeah, he was very hypocritical.
We got real. You don't
he
fuck
just
with you. You don't fuck with me.
kicks
That's
his
good.
ass, and then like he starts a fight with like the bartender, and then there's the bouncer, and
yeah, they're just not low profile people. That's the thing. He gives Richie all this shit.
Even after like the show with Salma Hayek, and she chooses to put her foot in Richie's mouth, so that's fine. But then Seth comes up after end, and he just like is in the middle of the entire building. He's like, yeah, that's my kind of show. Like it's all about me. You know, he walks in, this is my kind of place. So
yeah,
it's like nobody fucking asked you.
Yeah, I mean,
if I was
he
in a
beats the
bar-
shit out of Doorman. I mean, that should have been like the first thing to like kick him out.
Yeah. Nobody beats
Ian.
up the bouncer and walks in and stays there.
Yeah.
Did you mean what you said to me earlier?
What did I say? You said, yeah, like I love. There's so many, dude, and Cheech's monologue about pussy is just like one for the ages. Like that is like
that's another
we got horse
thing.
pussy, dog pussy, chicken pussy.
I love that. Yeah,
How could you beat that guy up?
Cheech was definitely like the underdog of this movie.
He's like a bard of vagina. He's like a pussy bard. Like he only sings and does rhymes about vagina.
If only he had a little loot.
Yeah, ding apple pie pussy. Yeah,
Smelly.
yeah. He was like riffing. People
He was like horse
up and he was
pussy,
that guy's
cat pussy, dog pussy, old pussy, young pussy.
How come every strip club I would go to way more? I don't go to strip clubs. I would go to way more strip clubs if they had a guy in front of every strip club being like, "Come on in, pussy lover."
We got pussy on. We're slashing pussy in.
Yeah, if you can find pussy cheaper anywhere, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was the best part. Like the camera goes under him and he looks down at the camera.
Yeah, he leans
Fourth wall
down.
break.
Yeah, exactly. And then at the end where he's his third character, he's what's his name, Carlos or something, the guy that they want to meet.
Yeah.
And like he's like, what the fuck? Have you ever been to this place? He's like, no, it's just like as good as any. And it's like my brother is dead. Her family is dead. Well, were they psychos? Psychos do not explode in sunlight.
Were they psychos?
Like he just did not give a fuck. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like when they do that part where he's like, fuck it, and some of the other camera choices of like zooming in and fading out on faces, like, and that part where it's like flashing the blood after he kills the hostage. Those are like really interesting choices in the movie. Just the cinematography and those choices are really interesting with
little flashes. And also, when it hits the vampires, it's very Evil Dead. You got like the crash zooms and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Is there anything else anybody wants to bring up before we move on?
I guess just like the suit up montage is cool. I'm trying to think of other stuff, but
Oh, when they got like the weapons and everything.
Yeah, when they just go full commando. I love me a good montage.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry
about back. You get no problem. I guess your connection died or something.
I don't know what happened there.
I was just asking if there's anything anybody would like to bring up before we move on. Is there anything you want to bring up, Tony?
God, other than no, I think we've been over most of everything. I guess I would want, like I said, if y'all haven't seen the behind the scenes like movie of this, like it's like a full like feature, like it's like an hour and a half long. It's so good. There's a lot of crazy shit that went down during the making of this movie.
Yeah.
Like there was like a bunch of so it's so like that scene where the big explosion happens at the like at the very end when all the vampires blow up at the front of the titty twister, that like burned down the entire set.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, and so like that charred remains of the titty twister that's like behind them, that's like the only thing that was like standing essentially. Like they like yeah, and that's like all in the documentaries. They're like, yeah, they burned down the set doing that. They weren't expecting it to get so big, and they still had like shit to like shoot and stuff. I'm pretty sure.
Oh shit!
And it was also like the whole movie was plagued with like, so they were breaking union laws a lot of the time, like shooting over. They were kind of like doing crunch kind of stuff, but like. It's interesting.
It is Robert Rodriguez.
It's Robert Rodriguez. He does a lot of guerrilla filmmaking, but he was shooting it guerrilla style, but with like a studio like production, I guess, because Miramax or whatever. And they got like sued and shit. They like production got halted, and the movie almost didn't get made because and it was weird because it was ironic because it was a bunch of people. The laws they were all breaking was to help.
It's ironic.
It's ironic because they were helping. The laws they were breaking was to help, like, you know, people not be overworked and like get fucked over, but everyone on the set was like, no, we want to do this, we want to do it this way, and so everyone was actually kind of ironically like against the studio trying to help them. So it's really weird. It's a really interesting situation that happened on that set.
Interesting.
And there's a lot. It seemed like everyone was fucking as well. I just want to mention. They don't say that in the documentary, but if you watch it, a lot of people talking about wanting to fuck each other. It's really funny.
There's only 2 women in the cast.
Well, probably all the ladies. Like, there's a lot of crew ladies, and there was a lot of
That's true. There are some extras too,
and a lot of
there were a lot of strippers. Good point.
Yeah,
very good point.
And a lot of people just want to fuck George Clooney. I think a lot of crew members being like, "Is George Clooney?"
Until he took off his shirt and he had the tribal tattoo, and they're like, "Ugh."
Yeah, that's when they had to like clear the set. Well, cool. That's a great way to end the conversation before we go on to the next segment. I don't know. It looks like we might have lost Tony again. He's frozen.
In the most awkward face.
The most awkward face, especially what we were just talking about, George Clooney. Well, anyway. Let's go on to talk about. Sorry, I'm just laughing about that. All right, so let's do the prompts. So I asked y'all to pitch me another Dusk Till Dawn movie, be it like a prequel. I mean, there's already been 2 prequels and a reboot, but if you had an idea of one or a sequel. Or anything like that. Maybe even a crossover with another franchise, or even what should Robert Rodriguez and Tarantino collaborate on next? They did Grindhouse after this. What should they do next? Jacob, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking of like crossovers, and I was trying to think of like because. I love crossing vampires over with werewolves, so I was thinking of The Howling, because The Howling is very much a movie that starts off kind of like a murder mystery, but with just like tiny little breadcrumbs of like werewolves, you know. And then as the movie goes on, that's when it's like, oh, this just turned into a full werewolf movie, but it also has like a lot of dark comedy to it. And you find out this entire town is just a giant coven of werewolves, similar to Titty Twister just being a giant coven of or just vampires. So I think it'd be cool to like cross those worlds, or just have it be known, or just have them exist. I don't even have to really cross maybe, but it'd be cool if they exist in the same universe to some extent, because it's like, yeah, if there's vampires, it means there's a hell, that means there's God, and it's like, okay, that means there's got to be other monsters out there.
Right.
You also make it a prequel to True Blood, Like this is before they come out of hiding or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be a good crossover. It's really interesting that you brought that up because just a couple of weeks ago we covered the Howling franchise. Me and my friend Dustin, we were on here and we ranked all the Howling episodes from worst to best. And then we also did an episode we reviewed I think it was number 6. Howling 6, the one with the freak show.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said I said that they should make like a way to bring the Howling into Dusk Till Dawn. Like
oh shit, yeah.
I literally said that.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, I totally agree. That's awesome. But yeah, like that's nuts. I had no idea.
Yeah. Is that all you got, or do you have anything else?
No, that's it. I just think it'd be cool to cross those worlds. Also, maybe like I know they did a prequel, but I'm a sucker for that sort of anthropological type stuff. If they were to do like an apocalypto, but with vampires.
Nice. Yeah. The third movie, I'm not. I didn't get to watch it, but yeah, it was like 1800s or something. So it yeah. I don't know. I just got a text from Tony. He says that he's having trouble with his internet. He got kicked off. What about you, Too Dark or Leafy? Do y'all have anything?
Go. You don't have anything? So one of my favorite things about this movie was the beats, right? Everything, it was almost shameless with its camp beats, with its action beats, like, and it was like boom, 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 like it's like almost like the breaks were beats, you know what I mean? And a good play on camp, a good play on schlock. And what I would like to do is take that shamelessness and take it to children's education. So, so kind of take like, you know, the and so you got like a what do you call it? Daggum, like the vampires are like teaching the kids at maybe it's not the titty twister, maybe it's the maybe not the titty twister, maybe the alphabet tornadoes where they go. And they learn from all the vampires. And I think it's great. And and it's also, here we go, this is the huge selling point. It's a Christian show. It's a Christian.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Selma Hayek, the teacher.
It goes without saying.
No, Jacob. Jacob's the teacher.
Yeah.
Jacob's the teacher.
Harvey Keitel, yeah.
And then,
Nice.
so yeah, Salma Hayek, she's the one that comes and tries to tempt the little kids. Oh, and the kids turn into fucking vampires.
Damn, that's a dark ending.
Yeah, no, but it's like that's like them turning into teachers, basically. They're like, I've learned it all real good. Now
Oh shit, the faculty. Damn.
You know, the actual reason why Jacob lost his faith is because he found out he was teaching vampire children and the vampires.
Oh, and Jacob has to go to hell, right? Vampires have to go to hell.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, we could have a whole movie about him in hell. That would be cool.
Fights his way out of it.
Yeah, shit. That's an idea right there. Like, yeah, Dusk Till Dawn, the sequel. Yeah, Jacob goes to hell. He's just in hell. He's just like fighting demons with his like cross and shit. And he's like, man, this sucks. And he's just like, the whole movie he's just fighting demons. That would be cool. I want to watch
dusk may come.
Nice.
Or Bad Lieutenant's the prequel, and then like Jacob is just like his recovery, like he became a pastor.
Yeah. Hey, Tony's back.
back again like Cheech Marin for a third time.
Damn.
Perfect.
What's up?
Perfect timing. What about you? What do you have as a prompt? A pitch to like a sequel or prequel, even though there's already prequels and reboots.
Yeah.
Or what should Robert Rodriguez and Tarantino team up with next, or what have you got?
Honestly, I think I really didn't like what I remember of the second one. So, and the third one sounds. I love westerns, but that sounds really silly. And I didn't like the show, so I feel like maybe they should just not do another From Dusk Till Dawn.
What?
But
that's crazy talk.
I know. I mean, I'm just saying. I know. Don't hear me out. But I do think that. I mean, they should make another Grindhouse kind of movie, though, if not just another Grindhouse too. I think Robert Rodriguez should make a third Machete as well.
Oh yeah, Machete in Space is long.
Yeah.
Machete in Space needs to happen, and I think it's really upsetting it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, but if I were to do it From Dusk Till Dawn, I would do it like a legacy sequel, like they're doing that with all the new like Halloween and shit. I would make it like I would ignore the other ones, or at least at the very least just barely touch on. And I would just do From Dusk Till Dawn 2, or just
So what happens next?
I would probably make it. Okay, so I've always had this idea that so Juliette Lewis's character.
Oh no,
where would she go? Right?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? What is she gonna do? Right? So she would probably I feel like she would either because the question is, do you think they killed all the vampires that live there? I don't know. They killed a lot of them, but it's a pretty big fucking complex.
Yeah,
so
it turns out that it's an entire pyramid.
Yeah, it's a huge pyramid, but I guess wouldn't they have all come up, right? I don't know. So I always figured that either she followed Seth into Mexico, and the sequel would just be I know they split ways, but that fuck that they would just be together, not like dating, but like bros, trauma bonded bros, and they would just be like, we left a few of them alive, man. We know that they keep hearing about all these they know it exists, they hear it's still going, and they know that it's all these bikers and truckers are still dying, and Seth would be like, oh, I don't give a fuck those people, and then she'd be like, yeah, well, a bunch of Richies are happening, and think of all the families that are happening, and it would just be this thing where it'd be like Aliens, be like an Alien style thing where they go back to get over their trauma, they can't see bats without thinking they're gonna die and shit. So they're like, we can't keep living like this, and so they go back to finish the job. But of course, it's it completely reset up, and it's even more badass now.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have to go infiltrate the bar and go down the pyramid level by level, like a reverse Game of Death.
Right.
Or not Game of Death. That's not Game of Death. What's the one? No, am I right? The Bruce Lee
I think
one.
So yeah.
Yeah, is that Game of Death?
I think so.
The Raid or Dread.
Yeah, or The Raid or Dread. Yeah, those movies are fucking rad. I can't think of a movie like that I don't like. So let's just do that, and so yeah, it's a little silly, but the movie's silly. I don't think you could redo it. I think it'd be stupid to remake it. It's perfect. Mm-hmm. Don't touch it. So
obviously, but
and then
for the sake of the podcast,
and I would somehow have Tom Savini back. I'd have him
somehow, yeah.
I'd have him play a new guy. Yeah, I'd do that. I'd have a bunch of.
I mean, yeah, that's great for this because everybody plays a new guy.
Yeah, and
Robert Patrick is in the second movie. He comes back.
Yeah,
and the reboot for the.
Yeah. Why have him?
Yeah, and then fucking the cop turns out he's a character 200 years ago.
Yep, exactly. Fucking have some high somehow.
In all three movies plus the reboot, I think what's his name? Danny Trejo's in all of them.
Oh, of course he is. Yeah. That makes canon sense though if they're prequels. If he's the same guy.
Yeah. He's definitely in the second one.
Okay.
He's still the bartender. So there's a guy driving a truck and he hits a bat and the bat like fucks up his truck, and so he crashes and it's right next to Twisters. So he goes inside there, he gets a drink, and Trejo's like, "Hey, what's wrong?" He's like, "Oh, my truck broke down." He's like, "Oh, you need a ride?" And Trejo gives him a ride, and he's like, "So what happened?" And he's like, "Yeah, I hit a bat." And he's like, "Oh, you hit a bat?" And he drives to the broken down truck and he's like, "Well, let's check it out." And you see like the bat is like it's horrible. It's like a shitty puppet.
He's like a guy.
No, it's just a really shitty bat puppet.
Oh, okay.
And it's like Fred or what? I don't remember the guy's name, but he's like, "Jimmy" or whatever. "Are you okay?" And then the guy, like, the bat turns into a guy.
Oh
and
my
he's
god!
like, "Yeah, that's the guy that hit me." And I think that's where most people turn the movie off because
that
really
would be
stupid.
where I would probably. Yeah. I don't know. That intrigues me. See, that makes me want to watch it.
But the rest of the movie gets better because you have Robert Patrick and he's just like forming a heist.
That sounds fun.
That gets taken over by vampires.
All these ingredients sound wonderful.
Yeah. So I have an idea. They should definitely team up, Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino, for another movie. I don't know what it's called, but it takes place now in current time, 2022 or whatever. Yeah,
20XX.
Whatever year we're in. It's a shitty ass bar in Mexico. It kind of starts out kind of like Desperado, a shitty ass bar, and then you see an older George Clooney. It's the same character, and he's at a bar. He's all old now, or he's rugged, and he's just like, "Hey, give me a shot because, like, I'm retiring or whatever." It's like he's just laying low or whatever, and then comes like this like shadowy figure who like comes in and it turns out it's Juliette Lewis, and she's like, "Oh, remember me? You like ruined my life by like kidnapping my family and leading us to that place that like ruined us or whatever, killed my entire family." And like gave me a bunch of PTSD, and she like attempts to attack him, but then she's stopped by like somebody else. And that somebody else is Antonio Banderas.
Oh, shit.
And he's like, "You're not going to kill anybody." And then George Clooney gets away. But Antonio Banderas is like, and he's the mariachi,
Okay.
And he's just like, like, "You shouldn't kill people, like I've learned that lesson or whatever." And she's like, "No, you don't understand. He like ruined my life." And then she goes after him, and then Antonio Banderas goes after her.
Okay.
And then I'm still trying to figure this out. I've been working on this for a while.
I will say, I have always said if they ever made a third Desperado movie, they need to call it From Mexico with Love. I've always thought that's a genius fucking title for it, because if they're going with, well, I guess the fourth, it'd be the fourth movie, because after
because they did do a third one.
Yeah, this is really good. I actually like Once Upon a Time in Mexico a lot.
A lot of people don't. I think it's okay. It's the weakest of the trilogy for sure.
Yeah,
but anyway, anyway, Juliette Lewis gets with the mariachi. They call him El, which is Spanish for the. And she's like, "Yeah, he ruined my life," and she like kind of convinces him to like help her, but really he's trying to like persuade her not to kill him because like he's been through this life. He's like, "Yeah, revenge will like it'll ruin your soul or whatever." And so she follows George Clooney into this like this other place, and it's like another bar. It's kind of like Titty Twister, but not exactly. But it turns out there's vampires, and they all emerge. And she's like, "Oh shit, this again!" And right before she's about to kill George Clooney, they get like is like her second attempt at him, but like it's they get interrupted by vampires, and now they're fighting side by side once again against vampires with Antonio Banderas, with another person.
I already know it's gonna be
Chetty.
Gotta be Machete.
No, it's not actually, but that's a good one.
Why not?
Because
I
got someone
I've
got somebody just as good. It's another old shadowy figure, and it's played by Samuel L. Jackson.
Who is this? Which Sam Jackson?
Let's just say he's somebody who's been walking the earth for a while.
Oh shit!
He's got Bruce Willis in a gimp suit.
Who's big? Yeah.
It's fucking because Quentin Tarantino's in this, so he's like, why not bring my character in this? So it's Jules from Pulp Fiction, and so it's now the four of them, and they're going up against vampires, and then that's all I got.
You might have something there. I think that's what Tarantino's fourth movie is going to be.
I think that would be cool. Yeah. It's definitely not Tarantino's 10th movie because that'll be his last one, but he will write this.
Yes, they'll be after his retirement. Yeah, he'll be like, I'm done, but I'll write.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Fuck the Vega brothers. Give me the Jules and El Mariachi.
Yeah. The Spy Kids are grown up and they're vampire hunters.
Yes. Yeah, they just show up. They just show up, and then also Beatrix Kiddo's kid, and the two kids from Kill Bill are like trying to kill each other.
Oh yeah,
like,
why not?
Thurman,
just have all the kids fighting each other.
That's what I'm saying. Put Rose McGowan in there with her machine gun leg.
This would be like such. It's fucking like
Kurt Russell in his car.
Infinity War.
Just the Tarantino Robert Rodriguez Infinity War.
Yeah. God.
Or
in No Way Home.
Really. And that there is just
everybody. Wallace has a briefcase full of the Infinity Stones. And just like,
oh my God.
And they're all just fighting vampires. Yeah.
All fighting vampires.
I like how we went from like this is plausible, this is a good idea, to just balls to just fucking insanity. which is how Dusk Till Dawn is.
And John Travolta would be a vampire. He might have died, but he could have been bit.
That's true.
At some point he could have been bit, yeah. Alright. Well, now that this is just anyway.
It's not completely off the rails.
Yeah. Just like the movie itself. Let's go ahead and rate this thing. So, all of y'all, you've been here before, except Leafy, but Too Dark has. But you all know like the way we were doing the rating, which is rate how your enjoyment factor, how you enjoy it. But I've decided to add. We just lost Tony again. I've decided to add a new thing, production value. So there's two ratings, one for production value, one for enjoyment. So I guess I'll go first. Production wise, I think it's a very well made film. Like it's good budget, even for like, I mean, Robert Rodriguez is always like amazing. Like he can like get a low budget and like he's an alchemist. He turns shit into gold, and he's really good. And the script is good. All the actors are good. The effects are good. I mean, you got Tom Savini in it, so it's amazing. So I will give it 9 bikers in Mexico. As for enjoyment, I think it's really fun. I think the first half is really good when it's like all these people fighting all the it's I don't know. It's a like heist movie. It's completely different. Then it turns into vampires, and then it's fun. So for that, I will give it again yeah, I think 9 wooden stakes to the heart. Jacob, we'll go with you next.
Yeah, I would like. The production value is amazing. I really like all the special effects are incredible. The prosthetics are really great. All the makeup effects really cool. All the even like sex machines like dick gun is just like pretty rad.
Yeah.
So yeah, easily like a 10. Oh gosh, 10 sex machines out of 10. I would give that for production value. And then overall enjoyment, I think this movie still holds up really well. It kept my attention throughout. There was rarely like a rare moment where I like looked away. Most of the time I was just like, man, because everyone's performances are fantastic. The dialogue's really well written. And then when it gets to the horror stuff, it's nuts. And it's hard to look away from all the blood and guts that are happening and all the silliness. It's a really, really fun ride. So I'd give that like 10 titty twisters out of 10.
Sounds painful.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot.
All right, man. You're ready to really high. Okay,
yeah, I mean, it's got its issues, but like it's just a fun
it's
ride,
fun.
man.
Yeah, great. Too Dark. Oh, let's go with you. What do you have for production?
Leafy's going for me.
Okay. Well, you're each going individually, aren't you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so but Leafy's first.
Production rating, I'd say probably 8.5 big ass yellow snakes, like for the half, like the scary half, like the head half of the snake. And then I thought it was really cool looking, and just like, oh, like the rules with the vampires dying, it was like just pretty much they can die however, like as many cool things as we can get in. So that was really cool. And then probably like 10 of Salma Hayek's toes in my mouth.
No.
4 inches.
all 10 of them just jammed
All
in
10
there.
of them, both feet.
Nice. Or Too Dark.
The production was amazing. I feel like everything was. I feel like it was like just as fucking laid out as a Kubrick film, but like for like schlock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. That's a good way to put it. I like that.
Yeah, it is like the Kubrick of schlock.
Yeah.
No,
So
Robert
I would
Rodriguez
have to
kinda
give
is.
it. Fuck, man. I had a good one and I really just lost it. Oh yeah, 10 out of 10 burnt down set designs.
Nice. I like that. Okay.
Fucking the fun factor, dude. That was a really fun, goofy movie, man. I really like it made me cringe a lot, dude. So I have to give that 10, but I like cringe. I like how it made me like, oof, it made me look away. Like it was directing me to look away. But anyway, I'll have to give that also 10 out of 10 condom holy grenades.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Like it. Tony.
Honestly, I mean, like, yeah, it's kind of like one of my favorite movies. Like, I kind of fucking love this movie. I got a poster up in my room. It's so good. It's the production value is rad. Like, there's just so much creativity going on. Like you said, there's just so much. Every scene is just like, even before it gets to the ridiculous, titty twister stuff. That alone is amazing. But yeah, it's just so the world feels so like the fucking that gas station that blows up feels like a really lived in real like gas station with all the random ass shit everywhere, like the sex dolls in the background and the icy like floaty in the back, feels like the it just feels like a real joint. The fucking hotel feels like it's the titty twister is like, yeah, it kind of is like the Overlook Hotel of schlocky horror movies. Like, yeah, I could draw you the Titty Twisters like layout right now, like in my, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can see it in my head. It's very classic. It's so, yeah. I'm gonna have to agree. I'm gonna have to go 10 Cheech Marins showing up randomly in different costumes at 10, because it is just so much creativity, and like they literally burn it to they ran it till it burned to the ground. It literally burnt that stuff to the ground. That's how they did as much as they possibly could on the budget they could, and it just every dollar shows. And then fucking the enjoyment. Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna do 10s across the board. Like, I literally can't think of a more entertaining movie. Like, there are better movies, but like, straight up, like, what more do you want? Like, what do you want out of a fucking movie? Like, straight up, like, you got drama, you got, suspense, you got horror, you got laughs. You're not gonna cry probably, but there's some emotions in it though. There's some, if you want to go there, there's some emotional bits in this film.
Like, when Richie gets killed,
it's actually kind of sad.
I love you, Richie.
And you're like, fuck this guy.
And he wakes back up. I love you too. And you're like, oh shit,
killed me.
You're like, oh no. And then he's gonna kill him again.
And
you're like, that's kind of sad.
And then Jacob gets turned, and they have to kill him.
That's sad.
No, but her brother was literally begging for death.
That's fucked up. Yeah, that's hard to watch. It's like it's a funny movie, but that part is legitimately disturbing to me. Like, that's
right after he kills his father.
Yeah, and his father kills him. It's just sad. It's a lot of sad stuff if we really stop and think about what happens in that movie. It's very at the end of the movie when she's just like, "You want some company?" and he's just like, "Bro, I don't."
No.
Yeah, you just got everything. This movie's got everything. All right. So I give it 10. 10 pussies Richie would have eaten if given a chance. Gladly. I was gonna say 10 toes that he would have sucked, but that was taken. Yes, I would go 10s across the board. It is just an enjoyable fucking movie. It's the funnest movie.
Yeah, but very well said. Which Tony, you and I, we recently had the pleasure of watching it in the theater last year.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you invited me to that. Yeah, Paramount in Austin.
And it was so fun.
It was, like, with a whole crowd and an old ass like classic theater that has been there for 100 years. Like,
it plays well with a crowd.
It really does. Yeah. Like, all the laughs were there, and like everybody like felt the tension together.
I think it's aged pretty well, honestly.
It has. Like, you don't look at it, you're like, oh yeah, that's a 90s movie.
It is a 90s movie for sure.
But no, I mean, you don't think that. I mean, you do, but you don't, and you're like, okay, yeah, this is some real shit. Like, this is like a regular horror movie, but it's just also kind of cheesy and fun.
Yeah, they don't make them like that anymore.
They really don't.
That is
Barbarian. It was pretty cheesy. I mean,
was
you
it?
Seen Barbarian? Yeah, I don't want to spoil it.
It
you should go see it.
I hear it's great, and see if that's it. Maybe that's why people are responding so well to it, because it's kind of. I hear it's kind of schlocky. I don't know anything about it, and I'm keeping it that way because of movies like this. Because you go in, and you have no fucking clue. You might get a little from Dusk Till Dawn. You might get a little Barbarian.
Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods. Great fucking example.
I am going to make a recommendation. I never usually do this, but there's a director. His name is Joe Begos. He's a current director. He's making a bunch of movies that are pretty recent. He is this. If you like this and you like new movies, check this guy out. He recently, in 2019, he did a movie called VFW, which is I do plan. You know it?
I have heard of it. I didn't see it, but it's the one about the army vets, right?
Yeah, it's like hobo with a shotgun in an army vet bar.
Okay,
basically
fun.
It stars like the old guy from Stephen Lane. He's from like
Don't Breathe.
Yeah, Don't Breathe. Yeah, exactly.
Avatar. He's the bad guy from Avatar.
Yeah.
Not the Airbender.
So like, and the director, he did a bunch of stuff. He did a really good movie. This it's called The Mind's Eye. It's kind of like, it's a lot like Scanners.
Oh,
Like
okay.
he takes like old movie premises and makes a new movie.
Did he do The Void?
He didn't do The Void, no.
Okay, The Void's good.
That's Steven Kostanski.
Oh, he's good.
Which, by the way, yeah, he's from Astron 6, and pretty soon we'll do Father's Day, which is an Astron 6 production.
Oh yeah, okay.
So all three movies I just mentioned we'll be covering on this show pretty soon, within the next couple months.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that's what you have to look forward to in the next couple of months. Next month, like I already said, will be Planet Terror, which is another Robert Rodriguez film. It's the Grindhouse one. Tony's got it right there in his hands already.
I love Planet Terror.
Ooh, look at that. This is the Blu-ray you want, by the way, folks. If you're trying to get the Grindhouse experience, you gotta get this Blu-ray right here.
Yeah?
I have it too.
Don't get the separate copies one. You gotta get the 3-hour long bad. That's the way to watch it. As stupid as
yeah.
Yeah,
with the trailers in between and everything.
With the trailers.
Oh, the fake trailers are so good.
With the best thing Eli Roth has ever done. With
Thanksgiving. Yeah, it really is.
I don't know.
That needs to be a real movie.
And Rob Zombie too. He did.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie doesn't make really good things anymore.
How about that Munsters?
I was gonna say you haven't seen the Munsters, obviously. What a great.
Is it good?
No one saw that fucking movie.
I got halfway through it.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Really?
If y'all tell me that the end scene, there's like some like the end, there's like a huge scat scene, maybe I'll watch it. But
that would be yeah.
Yeah,
it definitely feels like a
movie.
It definitely feels like a movie. You could tell they were having fun on set and like getting a laugh, but it doesn't really translate to the audience. So it's like, man, oof.
Well, cool. Well, anyway, next week will be Planet Terror. Yeah, and then, like I said already, we'll be entering the month of November, which will be Grindvember. So we'll start with Planet Terror, and I'll talk about basically the Grindhouse movies, what they are, the exploitation films, and the Grindhouses of the 70s and 60s and 80s. And pretty much, which I could do an entire podcast just on Grindhouse itself. Like I love that. That's really my favorite thing. I mean, maybe not my favorite, but I have a deep love for old Grindhouse films and the new Grindhouse films. So we'll also be covering the new ones, such as next one after that will be Hobo with a Shotgun, which came from a fake trailer from the Grindhouse double feature.
Yeah.
And then, VFW will be one also that I just talked about. Also, Father's Day, Blackula, because Grindhouse did the Black exploitations, and Blackula is one of the best ones.
It is.
And then, so that'll be November, Grindvember, and then December will be, guess what? Grind-December. And which I'll be doing more Grindhouse movies, such as Werewolves on Wheels, which is a bunch of a biker gang, which is its own like exploitation thing. There's a whole bunch of biker movies.
Yeah.
That they meet up with a satanic cult and become werewolves. So that's fun. I'm still trying to figure out. I'm thinking about is the She-Wolf with the SS, but that one's really kind of intense. So maybe not.
What about the old Death Race or Rollerball?
That might. Yeah, I was thinking those too. I might do one of those. And then yeah. So I'm still trying to figure it out, but definitely some old ones, definitely some new ones like. Father's Day, which is really great. Like if you like Psycho Gorman or The Void, definitely Father's Day is a really good one.
Yeah, okay, I gotta check that out.
Yeah, I'll hit you up for that.
Oh yeah.
But so that'll do it for this episode. Check out Jacob and Reese versus Evil. and then Too Dark. What's going on with y'all? So you've got your Adult Swim podcast, Deeper and Deeper, which is on hiatus. But what were you telling me earlier about
ghost hunting, dude?
Ghost hunting, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing ghost hunting videos.
Have you already started on that?
I'm just waiting on some equipment to come in.
Oh, okay. So that's in the future.
Yeah, I mean it's in the process right now. Yeah.
Cool. Well, where can people find that? Like when it does happen? Like,
oh, dude, dude. My little homework is Dank at Instagram, or at Dank on Instagram is more like it. Leafy, do you got anything? No, yeah, just me. The only way to find anything about us is at Dank on Instagram.
Right on. And if you want to listen to their old podcast they did together, Deeper and Deeper, about Adult Swim shows, which man, I really enjoyed it, to be honest. Like I'm a fan, so I hope y'all come back and also bring me back, or not back, but into it. I would definitely love to join your show, but regardless, it's a fun show. Like it's very interesting, and I learned a lot listening to your first couple episodes.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, dude, I worked real hard on those, man.
I can tell. Yeah, you definitely did your homework for it, because like you were just spitting out facts, and I was like, man, I didn't know any. There was this much to Adult Swim,
and a lot of it comes from firsthand. I know I'm fucking tooting my own horn, but a lot of it comes from like firsthand, like just like being there and experiencing it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of that stuff, like it's hard to like really like say like I got it from like Wikipedia or anything. It's just because like I was there and saw it. So anyway, yeah,
that's really
right.
Cool.
Podcast, man.
Cool. All right, and then Tony, you've already mentioned it before last time you were on here.
Yeah.
But
and it still hasn't come out. Yeah, I did a movie like last year, and it is. Oh, hi. Well, that's my girlfriend. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, I have a movie coming out, hopefully at some point this year,
Cool.
or probably next year at this point, called Sorry About the Demon. It's going to be a Shudder exclusive. So check Shudder out whenever that comes out. I don't have a release date at this point, but it's playing festivals right now, so we'll see.
How's it going with those festivals?
Apparently, it's going pretty good. Apparently, it's going pretty well. So,
sweet.
Yeah. So,
awesome.
check me out. I play the voice of the demon in the movie. Sorry About the Demon. So, nice. Check it out. Go watch it when it comes out. Whenever. I think early next year is what I'm told, like February next year. But that's who knows.
Well,
I feel like it's like Shadow drops a bunch of cool stuff.
There's a lot of movies that have been delayed recently. Like I think it was last week or the week before we covered Cyst, which was like supposed to come out like 3 years ago, and it just now came out. And then Miracle Valley just now came out. So a lot of things are being delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, that'll be it for this episode of Colin Trash Horror Movie Grind. Again, check next week when we do Planet Terror, and then also hit us up on Patreon, where we will continue this conversation on Patreon, which is right after this. So so take it easy, everybody. I will plant you now and dig you later. Peace.
Later. You all right?